mentioning them, I think you should anyway mention the ones that we know are deceased now as part of the suspects.
If I may, the witness deals with the same suspects in the body of her statement,
And she will
as
get that.
with yesterday regarding Mr. Fritz.
Okay,
She had indicated she doesn't have a difficulty.
okay.
Just to cross-check, Ms. Masuku, do you have a difficulty in reading out the witness, these suspects as are listed at page 11? If you don't, Commissioner Baloyi is inviting you to please do so.
I will read the suspects list, Commissioners.
All right, thank you.
During the time when we first take it for the NPA decision, the following suspects were mentioned as part of the suspects that must be prosecuted. It was Reservist Constable Z. Fritz, Mr. W. Pretorius, Mr. E. van der Walt, Mr. M. van der Merwe, which is Marius, Mr. J. Mkwanazi, Mr. J. Hanekom, who is now deceased, Mr. Kobas, Ms. K. Listos, who is a Metro officer, Ms. J. Marie Extian, who is an SAPS member, and Mr. A. Mackenzie, who is an EMPD member as well. Mr. J. Mkwanazi as well is an EMPD member. The rest of other mentioned names, it's private people.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Ms. Masuku, we are now at a point where you have submitted this memorandum to the DPP. If you can pick up your testimony from there, what transpired thereafter?
The DPP advised, amongst the others, that we could not be able to obtain a conviction in circumstances where we are relying solely on the testimony of a single witness, whom himself was a suspect in the murder. The DPP therefore returned the file to us for further investigation.
Do you have it in writing, the DPP's response to your memo?
Commissioners, I was addressing the SC for that, to say, before I came for the consultation, I had it. It's just that unfortunately, I asked assistants in the office to make copies for me because I had left the bundle of documents on my desk. So when they were making copies, that particular document is no longer there. That means it's being misplaced. But it doesn't mean that I won't be able to find it. It's just that now I don't have it in my possession.
And if I may, as discussed with Ms. Masuku, after this she will try and locate precisely that document and she will file it with a supplementary statement. It's just that she couldn't obtain it at the time now the statement was due. Thank you.
It may even be sought from the DPP if you can't locate your copy.
Indeed, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. I will do that during break. If she's in the office, she'll be able to send me. Yes. Thank you. After the docket was taken for decision for the first time, the DPP offered further directives of a list of instructions that must be carried over before we return the docket back. Some of them was to obtain the warning statements from the rest of these mentioned suspects. So I had to start locating these suspects. As I acknowledge, the investigation was dependent on teamwork. Given the security threats and operational risk prevalent in the area, it was both prudent and necessary for investigators to work collaboratively and to allocate tasks amongst team members. Mr. Makakula's involvement thereof reflects the lawful delegation of functions within the team-based investigation conducted under the authority and direction of the lead investigator.
And in that sense, the lead investigator was yourself.
It was myself,
Thank
Commissioners.
you. Please continue.
Following the incident and during our investigation, we managed to obtain statements from the following suspects that were mentioned by Marius van der Merwe. Commissioners, I will mention the name because their names are known already. We obtained the warning statements from Brigadier Julius Mkwanazi, Alexandra Zander Fritz, who was an SAPS reservist at Brakpan, but later resigned. Begogwa Kesibanda, who is a police sergeant at Brakpan Police Station. Juan Mare Exten, based at Flying Squad. Keisha Lee Stolz, who is an MPD constable. Adrian Mackenzie, who's also an MPD constable. And Velem Pretorius, who is a security officer from an unknown company to myself. Etienne van der Walt, who is a security officer. And Cobus van Rensbeck from Coast Guard Security. These statements were obtained in order to get their version of events on the day of incident. All the above warning statements were obtained from different dates, ranging from 2023-02-24 to 2026-01-28. I attach copies of these statements marked NPM 5I to 5IX and a copy of a death certificate of Constable Kosa marked NPM 5X.
If I may then direct you to your annexed file for these annexures NPM 5, Roman 1 to NPM Roman 5. They start at page 14 of your annexure bundle.
Yes, Commissioner, I'm there.
You state that these were obtained over a period starting the 24th of February 2023 to the 28th of January 2026. You state that at your paragraph 51.
And that's correct, Commissioners.
Have you located the annexures in your exhibit bundle, in your annexure bundle? Have you located them?
Yes, Commissioners.
Before we go into these to the extent that is necessary, is there any particular order in which you have filed them in the file?
Yes, Commissioners, they are filed according to the sequence of the dates they were obtained.
With the first being?
With the first being Alexandra Fritz, until the last being Constable Extian.
Okay. So you note at your paragraph 51 that they range from the 24th of February 2023. Are you correct? Because if you say Alexandra Fritz was the first statement and we go to NPM 5, Roman 1, there's a signature there. Well, you have, it's in two parts really. It's the standard form called statement regarding interview with suspect, and that is dated the 17th of February 2023, that you will find at page 19 and page 20. And attached to that is the actual statement, which is dated the 24th of February 2023 at page 27. So you are relying on the date of the actual statement, not the warning form or whatever it's called that appears at the beginning of that annexure.
Commissioners, on that, I think it should be rectified. I'm relying on the warning statement,
Yes.
the form, because even if he doesn't come back with the exact statement, as long as I have this, I will take it back for decision.
Okay.
So I think the date should be amended to the one for the form, which is the 17th of February, not the one where I got his statement.
We shall make that amendment accordingly. Thank you.
So now it's helping me to say at least I've got another suspect that was not mentioned by Marius, that is now being mentioned by Fritz, that I must trace. Even though he doesn't mention to say who was the other police officer, but I knew that if I get this one, then he will be able to tell me as to who was he driving with. I will not be able to divulge more, but what I just wanted to highlight to the commissioners is to say, even though he was there, but he is distancing himself from seeing the deceased on the day in question. He arrived, yes, in the premises, but according to him, he didn't see anyone there. He saw the police officers who were there busy working as the house was ransacked, according to his statement. The members that he knows, these ones that are working with him at his station. And then there were other EMPD members. He is also mentioning that there was another African male that he just give description as to how did he look like. What I can say to the commissioners, that even though we have a list of 12 suspects, including the deceased suspects in this matter, but it can happen that after arrest, we can be able to arrest more people that were involved, because I do believe that it was not only these ones. They were more. And after these suspects can be arrested, that is when I will be able to interrogate them based on the information I'm having. But for now, I cannot interrogate them because they are not yet charged.
Was this not sufficient to return the docket to the DPP and say, you now have more information and for a decision? Or was it necessary to still do further investigations, and why?
Commissioners, yes. The docket was sent in December, and then it was returned, I think, early January 2023, with further instructions. Then I started to follow on those instructions. As this statement, it's one of me noting the instructions from the DPP, but it was not enough of me to say, because now I'm having these statements now from Alexandra, I must take the docket back again to say they can prosecute. Because already I had enough evidence against Mr. Fritz. This is additional to show that evidence that I'm having, it proves he was there. But for me, because now I'm having these statements to take the docket back again, the docket was going to come back again to me to say, but there are further instructions that you haven't complied to. They are important as well. So for me, it was important to get the rest of other statements from the rest of other suspects that are mentioned here. What I can mention regarding all the suspects, because at the end, for this duration of the dates I've mentioned to say, it was from the 17th of February 2023, the first statement, until the last statement on the 28th of January 2026. All these statements, yes, they were at the premises, but none of them saw the deceased. They all arrived at the premises, but according to them, the deceased, they didn't have any interaction with the deceased. They didn't see him. That means he was not there when they arrived. And some of them, they didn't even go inside the house. They just ended on the premises. But for me, it's enough as long as they did arrive, because what they want to prove is they were on that premises on the day of incident.
Whose statements did you obtain after the testimony of Marius van der Merwe before the commission?
It's the last statement of Extian, as well as the statement of Constable Sibande from, who is a police officer. But you will see that on the warning statement form,
Yes.
there is Sibande's form that was obtained during 2023,
Yes.
whereby he has chosen to remain silent. But after Marius came to the commission, then Sibande came forward and said, I'm bringing my statement. Then I took it. He gave it because the case was already a talk everywhere. Even SAPS was now making inquiries as to where is the case docket. So they confronted their members who they know they were involved. Then Sibande, as he was one of them, that is when, after confronting him, then he came back to me and said, I sat with the legal side of SAPS, then I was advised to give statement. Then I'm bringing my statement. Then I agree to say you can bring your statement.
Okay.
Ms. Silla, you confused me. I thought you were correct the first time when you said this statement was made after witness D testified.
Yes.
Then you changed to say, no, it could have been earlier.
No, the witness had said she got two statements after witness D had testified, stating Sibande and Extian. So I point out to the witness that actually Officer Sibande's statement is dated the 1st of December, 2025, which is prior to. So that's the correction she just effected. His official consultation or interview was in May 2023, when he refused to give an actual statement. He just completed that form, but did not give a statement. He subsequently gave it on the 1st of December 2025.
And witness D testified in November.
On the 5th of December 2025.
No, it was the minister on the 5th of December. He died on the 5th of December.
That's why.
Yes, that's when you confused.
That's where I'm sorry, I confused the witness. I'm sorry, I had my dates mixed up. You're quite correct. You're quite correct. So the witness is correct from the original version that she got two after the testimony of witness D. It's the date of death. I apologize for the confusion. I realize I have eaten into the tea time for commissioners. I just want to finish off one question, this aspect of her testimony. So it's clarified, and thank you, Commissioner Kumalo, that you obtained 2 statements after the testimony of witness D.
That's correct, Commissioner.
We have clarified that is Officer Sibande.
Yes.
The only other one then after that period is NPM, according to your file, NPM 5, Roman 9 at page 124. If you could just very briefly deal with that and the date you obtained that statement.
And this is in relation to a question yesterday about a reservist attending to the scene. You see, in paragraph 2, he explains that he arrived at the scene, or they arrived at the scene, and then formed teams under Constable Fritz's guidance. Is that how it works, that police officers can be under the leadership of a reservist?
No, that's not correct, Commissioner. It doesn't work in that way.
Yes.
You cannot get instruction from a reservist. He's the one who must guide the reservist.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And then secondly, at page 25, that is the statement of Alexander Fritz that you were looking at earlier, at page 25 in paragraph 12 and line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom.
Okay, Commissioner, I'm still getting the...
Page 25? At paragraph 12?
Yes, Commissioner.
And then that paragraph 12, if you count from the bottom of the paragraph, go to line 5. In fact, you can go to line 6, which starts, we saw the truck standing. Do you see where I'm reading?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. Now, in the next line, he says, we saw a black male with a beard and glasses. And then if you read on, he then says in the next sentence, he was apparently from the EMPD, but dressed in civil clothing. Did you establish who the person that he would have been describing here? And I ask because when you look at your list of suspects from the EMPD, the only African name is Mkwanazi, and he's placed outside. Here he seems to speak about a different person. Have you put a name to this other person that is being described here and apparently from the EMPD?
Commissioners, sorry. Yes, I did inquire regarding this, but the only people that can tell me as to who is this man, it's them. That is why I said to the commissioners to say, if the arrest can be effected, possibly there are more suspects that will be arrested because I will be able to interrogate them based on what they are telling me. So for now, if he says, I don't know him, then I can't do anything for now. I will take that. Then for me to go to EMPD to say I'm looking for somebody who wears dark glasses with a beard, they will tell me that there are about 20. So I won't know who am I looking for. But because he is saying he was from EMPD, I know that I will get him. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's adjourn and resume at 11:30.